This is week 18 of the French Biointensive Organic Raised Bed Garden series. And that jungle over there of tomatoes is about 7 feet wide. It is almost as wide as it is tall. And I don't know, it is ridiculous. The two varieties in that bed are Opalka, which is a paste tomato that Bears here recommended on her channel last year. And then the ones behind that are Lillian, it's a yellow heirloom tomato. All of the tomatoes I have planted are heirloom breeds. But I just cannot believe it that it has gotten this crazy. I've been trying to keep this pathway cleared, but I've given up because it's impossible. And look at the size of these things for paste tomatoes. And I actually have somewhere in this jungle one that is turning orange. We can find it. There it is. Ew. Ew. There. I can barely stay up. These are so crazy. Okay. So, yeah, I've started using the cutting celery and making bone broth. Oh my goodness, you guys are so noisy. What is it, Addie? Okay, yeah, I've started using the cutting celery in bone broth, and then I am going to harvest a bunch today and put it in the dehydrator, because I think there's enough there to fill my dehydrator with a couple trays of comfrey as well. The chard is doing ridiculously well still. I cut off a lot earlier this week. I mean, probably the equivalent of 4 bunches from the grocery store, and you can't even tell. And I've also given some to the birds, and it is just going like nuts. My cabbages are starting to size up. I wasn't sure. The first one grew so big, and then these ones took a lot longer. But they are finally starting to size up. Yeah, this is the Lillians, and the tomatoes are a lot smaller on it. They will get bigger, of course, but these ones took forever. These ones were, if you remember, back in the beginning, the ones that were pathetic. I mean, they didn't grow very well under the grow lights, and they didn't grow very well outside. And I didn't think they were ever gonna do anything. And then they took off like crazy, and they haven't stopped. It's just nuts. Still getting an awful lot of peppers coming. My jalapenos. That's Traveler's jalapeno. That was recommended to me by the matron of husbandry over on WordPress, or it might be easier to find her as Throwback at Trapper Creek. And I also have Golden Treasure, which are getting really big, and these will turn yellow and orange. I'm really excited about them. I still have no idea how the sun is getting to the pepper plants when the tomatoes are so big. Yeah, and next year, definitely, I am going to follow the directions that say that tomatoes need much more growing space than I gave them. Because I was like, oh, it's French Biointensive. I can put everything much, much closer together. And that's true up to a point. But next year, I'm going to put 4 tomato plants in the space that I put 6 in this year. I'm still getting green beans, but they're really slowing down. And I think I'll probably be picking my last in about 4 days. And then I can pull them and feed them to the birds, and the birds will be ecstatic because they love those. My anasazi beans. These were from a package I got from Lady B003. I won one of her subscriber contests, and these anasazi beans and the yellow crookneck squash that I'm growing is from her packet. So I do not know. I have to look it up. I do not know if I can eat the anasazi beans in the pod, or I know you can dry them, but I don't know. Okay, looky at that watermelon, and then at that watermelon. There are so many inside the bin, and I never show them to you because it's just a jungle. But the ones out here, outside it. Alright, again, the only word I can seem to think for these things is utterly ridiculous. Okay, so I've got jungle. There's a watermelon there, and there's a watermelon there, and another one here, and one there, and one there. And I think on the count I did 2 days ago, there were 23. And that's not to mention the 4 up front that I just stuck up there because I had them and didn't expect them to do anything. And there's 4 watermelons, 1 on each of those plants. So, crazy nuts. The fava beans are still coming along. I am just drying those. And here's another baby watermelon. So, yes, I get overly excited, I know. But I can't help it. This is the aforementioned crookneck squash from Lady B's seeds that she sent me. Got some here, and there's some up in the front yard garden. You can see that the calendula is really starting to look nice on the stuff that's coming back. And when I get a bit more of these, then I'll take off the damaged leaves. These I will probably pot up in a couple more weeks and see if they'll overwinter okay that way. If not, the lady that I bartered for them with will have more starts next year. You know, my marjoram needs to be harvested, so maybe I will do a tray of those in the dehydrator today as well. Carrots are doing nicely, starting to push up. I think these are little fingers, so I think that maybe I will harvest about half of them next week, and the other ones will get a little bit bigger. Just because they're designed to be small doesn't mean that they won't grow any bigger. Okay, still harvesting like crazy off of the common sorrel, the French sorrel, and the red blood vein sorrel. These have gone from early spring with no problems. While the common sorrel did bolt, it did not change the flavor of the sorrel. And all of these sorrels are very similar to types of spinach. So if you are having a really hot summer, sorrel is a really good substitute for spinach, which doesn't like heat. And most of our temps this summer have been low 80s. So I don't know how it would do in 90 or 100 degree weather, but I do know from last summer that it does fine in high 60 and mid 70 degree weather. Okay, that is I believe my lavender that I thought I had completely killed, and it is doing great. No, this isn't marjoram. This is thyme. My thyme needs to be harvested again. I let it go to seed and make its own little bitty seedlings, and now it's ready for another shave. My comfrey is doing really well. It's actually starting to produce flower heads. The basil, which I harvested down to almost nothing last week, is coming back really well. Echinacea still only has one leaf on it, but since I thought I killed it, that's good. I'm ready to pick the, what are these? Snow peas that I let go to seed and dry them out. And I think, yeah, it feels like the snap peas will be ready in about another week. So I will have those for seed for next year. Although I think I may plant another batch of snow peas at the end of August, just to see what we get. Okay, so the Constelluto Genovese tomatoes are doing great, and the Abraham Lincoln ones are doing good. They didn't get as big as they should have, but the tomatoes themselves are looking really nice. Cilantro, parsley, they're doing really well. The fennel is getting big, and that rosemary that I thought wasn't going to do anything, the one that I'd had in the pot all winter and finally put it out here because it was dying, well, it's coming back. And my paprika peppers are starting. Let's see here. Those are close. This is the paprika. And I don't know if I'll get more than that one plant because the tomatoes overgrew so badly, but hopefully I will. My yarrow, I just harvested it yesterday, but it looks like there's another. Yeah, look at this one. Put it with the batch that I harvested yesterday. And then I have my giant opalka. It's okay. It's growing in there. It is as big as my hand now. My middle finger's up by the stem, and yeah, it's about an inch longer. But I have an almost ripe one, and I'm thinking maybe 2 to 3 days, and I'll be able to pick it, and I'll have my first orange or first red tomato of the season. And I'm hoping that most of these come in to ripeness at the same time so that I can actually make ketchup and tomato sauce and salsa and stuff, and not be given one tomato at a time like last year, but I doubt it because everything is so much better than last year. I doubt I'll have to worry about it. And the kale continues to do well. The onions are starting to fall over, so in about 2 more weeks I think they'll be ready. My green onions are doing really well after not doing anything for weeks, and I think that if I put this in a plastic bag now and shake it out, I will have onion seeds. And I really need to get these other ones cut so that that have bolted cut so that I can dry the stalks for green onion use. Strawberries are going pretty well. I was able to harvest yesterday and probably will again in 2 days. And there's so many flowers and there's so many bees. It's ridiculous. That's really the only words I have to say, I think, about the garden. Well, obviously not. This video is long, but yeah, ridiculous. That sums up this week.